If anyone thought last week at Michigan was a wild card race for the playoffs, they clearly have never been to the place we're at now, the high-banked Talladega Superspeedway in the middle of Alabama. This 2.66-mile superspeedway is infamous for many a big accident over the years and even more close finishes than you can probably count on either hand. But we're here now for race number 4 of the 1UP Superstar Series playoffs in 2024. And alongside me to bring you all the action once again is the man who, last time we were on track at Michigan, finished on the podium. It's Ryan Griffin with us once again. It's great to have you with us. And, well, need I say more, because Talladega, its infamy precedes itself.
It's been said in the history of this racetrack that it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground, and we've seen races to prove it. And what better race could you come to as a true wild card than Talladega Superspeedway? The racing here is, ask the fans, they love it. The drivers, well, let's just say their blood pressure is going to be up by the end of this race, as it is a stressful situation running in the pack here, and knowing that one little mistake, one little misjudgment could end your race and possibly your playoff chances. So it's definitely a wild card. It's fun. I'm glad I'm up here and not down there, but it should be a blast today.
Absolutely, and we've got our 15 playoff contenders scattered throughout the field from pole position all the way down to 42nd on the grid, as we can now bring you the full starting lineup for today's 57 laps of racing action at Talladega. Aaron Hall has had a miserable playoff so far, but hopefully he can right the ship here today with pole position at Talladega. It might not mean as much here as it does at other places, but we'll see what he can do from that lead position. Next playoff driver behind him is Lane Sanders in third, Joshua Michaels fifth, Mark Davey, Devin Fair, Dylan Young also populate the top 10 as far as our playoff contenders. But our focus is more on the back of the field because we have a lot of playoff drivers starting outside the top 20 here today. Patrick Smith, Miles Mashburn, 21st and 22nd. They may be okay. But you have Jeffrey Finguy, who entered today second in the points. He starts 26th. Zayden Davidson, 28th. Vargas and Bolton, 35th and 38th. And worst of them all, Ben McDonald in 42nd and last on the grid for this race here today. They've got their work cut out for them to have a really good day here at Talladega, don't they?
They do, but Talladega is one of those tracks. I said it last week in the truck series during the truck series event at Michigan, but more so here. You can come from the back of the field here. The issue is when you're mid-pack and at the back, you run the risk of being caught up in somebody else's mess, and that's the big risk about starting out back. You can get to the front, but it's more of a matter, can you survive, that it is trying to get to the front. And that's going to be that's going to be the first goal on these guys' minds that are starting back here, is just get around, tiptoe around if they have to, and maybe even ride a little bit before they actually try to move to the front. Let something big happen, avoid it, and then go from there. So, yeah, it's a chore to start out back. You can't survive. You can't make it happen. But it's definitely not the position these guys want to be in to start with.
Absolutely not, but we'll see what's in store for them and for all of our 42 drivers on the grid here today. This is the 1UP Superstar Series playoffs from Talladega Superspeedway, and the green flag is getting set to fall on the field. Get this great race at Talladega underway for us, for the fans, for the drivers, for everybody involved here in Talladega Superspeedway. Getting set for a big day at Talladega. Who is going to survive today and come out of here with a big advantage? Aaron Hall and Keon Daly on the front row. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Talladega, and further back in the field, Dylan Young jumps out of line from the 10th starting position. He wants to make some gains early on, but being up at the top of the racetrack is not a good thing early on, because with no help, they're just going to blow right past.
Yep, and we'll also have to watch this too. We got Sanders and Caesar up here, teammates. Obviously, Caesar did not make the playoffs, so Caesar could maybe help his teammate here, at least maybe get an early lap lead. As look at the winner from last week, Devin Fair, down already on the inside, already trying to make moves, and try to make his push to the front, as it looks like Hall will lead him into turn 3, clear for the lead, as there are pretty much 2 and 3 wide behind him now.
And remember, with Finguy starting down in 26th place, this is a golden opportunity for Fair to get an advantage in the early laps here at Talladega because he needs it. And it looks like we got one slowing. We got a smoker in the middle of the pack, and it's Nick Ortiz, one of our championship contenders. He's out on the first lap, and he collects the 93 into a spin.
Into a spin, they spin onto the apron. I believe that'll bring the yellow out.
I'm looking. Pace car's supposed to come out, but I don't see it. We're staying green through this. So heartbreak for William Brock. Wasn't his fault at all to get caught up in that. But what that has done now, it's separated the pack into basically 2 halves and a few cars in the middle in no man's land, including the 92.
Yep, that's big, and unfortunately for Brock, that's the second he had that tire issue last week that put him a couple laps down by the end of the race, and now here caught up when Ortiz's engine lets go, and Ortiz, one of the playoff guys, early issue here. That's very unfortunate for Ortiz.
And that's exactly what Jeffrey Finguy did not want to see, was Devin Fair leading the lap here early, getting a bonus point and putting himself further ahead in the championship fight. And look, he's got an advantage now, and it looks like he's trying to get a little help from his teammate Ryan Arnold in the 26, but the 26 dives down to try and take the lead for himself. As look at this, Zachary DeLillo, J.D. Martin, and Jeffrey Finguy, they're kind of in a lose-lose situation. They're not in the front of the field, they're not in the second pack to try and chase down the leaders, so they're kind of just stuck until one of those groups pick them up.
And this will be interesting to see, as obviously we've had a lead change up front here. The 26 of Arnold is now the leader. But what's going to be interesting here is to see, we got 2 packs. We'll see which pack is quicker. And can that second pack actually run down this first pack? And who knows, maybe those guys that are sitting in no man's land might be in a better position if one of these 2 packs wrecks.
Well, the problem is now that there's a pack of about 18 cars at the front of the field. That's plenty enough to keep a good pace going. Then you have the 3 cars by themselves about 3.5 seconds off the leaders, and then you have that second pack about 5.5 seconds back. So they might be able to catch up, but if they are, it's going to take quite a long time. As you see, Chrissy Spletzer in the 86, they have dropped off the lead group, and they might get picked up by this group of 3. As it looks like we had Brock hit pit road probably to replace some flat spotted tires. That is going to ruin his afternoon, especially early on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Brock was just kind of the innocent victim when Ortiz's engine let go. He looked like he tried to get to the bottom of the racetrack, and unfortunately, Brock he had cleared Brock and went off his nose and took him and Brock down to the apron or the inside of the track there, down in 1 and 2. But thankfully, they didn't collect anybody else, and that's why why we ended up staying green, was because nobody else was collected and they just spun down to the inside. So. But again, now we've got a unique race here now, because we basically have just this 18-car pack, then we have that 3-car pack, and these guys are trying to go 4 wide up here in the lead group, and Talladega is plenty wide enough to run 4 wide. You got to be careful you don't try to pinch too close to people, or you can have a wreck happen as a result.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen before. But now you look further back in the pack. In the background, you see Spletzer did get caught by that second pack, and they're close to catching that threesome of Martin, Finguy, and DeLillo. So that group's pretty much sorted together. The question now becomes, can that second pack run down these guys and make this a big group once again?
We'll see. That's going to be the question, and obviously we'll keep an eye on that interval as the laps tick down here. But usually the adage is the more cars you have, the faster you're going to go. So we'll see if that holds true or not, as the 39 has taken the lead up front. Echo Evans-Ross now out front with the 20 behind him, and Hall, the pole sitter, has fallen to 3rd. As you can see now, it looks like the first 3 are single file now, and there's still, well, never mind, it's the 20 ducks out of line. It looks like they're trying to sort it out back there, but they're trying to go single file here. As we got Denoto, I think there's a little bit of rubbing going on back there. Denoto, and I believe that was Aguazao that might have made a little bit of contact there, trying to go 4 wide.
lot of contact in the opening laps, but so far only the one accident with Nick Ortiz and William Brock that did not bring out a caution flag. So we stay green here at Talladega with now Keon Daly leading the way for JHM Racing at the front of the field, but he has to give way now because Rasha Mahendra in the 42 is trying to fight his way to the front in the NTT data machine. But he's getting a push from Ryan Arnold behind and Julio Cesar. This group, like I said, is about 18 cars in it. And now that second pack has condensed down, they're starting to like you said, they're trying to get single file, chase down the leaders. They're already up to 4.5 seconds behind. It's just a matter of how many laps will it take for the two packs to converge.
Oh, when it comes to Talladega, I said before, you could pretty much, if you start at the back, it's no big deal if you could work your way to the front cleanly. And look no further than the 42 who just recently led. He started 23rd. The 53 is running 3rd. He started 24th. So you can get to the front here. It's just you got to try to do it safely and not do anything to detriment or not do anything to hurt your chances at winning the race at the end of the day. But up front here, it's the 26 of Arnold leads. Then you have Julio Cesar. I mentioned the 56. The 70 of Emma Kruger is right there on the upper lane. And then you have Davey, who's one of the playoff guys. He's actually the highest running of the playoff guys at the moment.
Yeah, because a lot of our playoff drivers are in that second pack that are trying to catch up. The only ones we have in this league group are Davey, Michaels, Sanders, and Devin Fair, I believe. And yeah, so, and Aaron Hall as well. So the rest of them are either out of the race in the case of Nick Ortiz or in that second pack. So they have a lot of incentive to try and chase these leaders down. They can't be thinking about saving anything. They gotta get caught up to the lead group if they're gonna have any hope of saving their day.
Well, you can see that second pack is just off of turn 2 now, and
they're closing.
Yeah, they are closing. I honestly think that second pack might be just a little more organized than this first pack, and I think they're slowly going to start to reel them back in. It's just a matter of when they catch them and what's going to happen when they do catch them. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, keep you abreast of the intervals. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Arnold leading it. Aguazao now battles for second.
Yeah, he's running the triple. He's running all 3 races this weekend. Him and James Ellison are doing that this weekend. And Zhao now gets moved up to the middle by Keon Daly, who sort of 99 is going to fall back a little bit. Zhao, of course, driving this car in place of regular driver Ryan Vasquez while he recovers from that crash at Kansas a few weeks ago. But now, Devin Fair was close to the lead, but he has to give way to Keon Daly, who's going to get a huge run on the 26 as we head into turn 3.
And again, you get good runs here. It's just about... Usually, when it comes to Talladega, it's whatever line has the momentum is what's going to go. Usually, it's the inside that we see make the moves here, but that doesn't mean you can't make the outside work if you have enough momentum and enough cars with you. So they're going to go 3 wide behind the 20. Hall in the middle. Ross to the inside, and Arnold... Well, I think they're going to go 4 wide now for second into turn 1.
Yeah, the 42 of Mahendra is closing onto the back bumper of the 20, and he's being pushed by the hometown driver Lane Sanders in the 87, always a favorite here at Talladega. As we look a little further back, you see a couple cars have lost the draft altogether. William Brock is to be expected, but Jensen Nomina in the 96 and Cale Teskar Jr. in the 0, they have all lost the lead group and are running about 3 seconds a lap slower than the packs as a result.
And going back a minute to what you said about Sanders, Sanders actually won our last plate race at Daytona back in over the Daytona night race, the last race to determine the playoff field. So you got to look at him when it comes to these style of races. He's usually a contender when it comes to these style of races, and you know, here he is again running basically just with his team car just in front of him, the car he owns, as they try to work that high side.
Yeah, and let's not forget either, he's a 500 winner too, so he's 2 of his 5 career wins have come in this style of racing, as it looks like we got one falling off the backpack, and it's Roberto Crown Jr. in the 55. I think he caught the wall off of turn 2, scrubbed off a little momentum, and he is probably going to lose the draft as a result. Tough break for the 55. As looking at this group, they are quite a bit more organized.
The second pack right now, and we were just looking at them, looks like they got themselves sorted out to double file. Well, these guys are running 4 and 3 wide, and it's why that second pack is running them down because they're a little more organized.
Yeah, they're within 2.2. They're within 2.5 seconds of the lead now. So I would expect them to catch up probably within the next 10 laps.
Yeah, and then the question is going to be what happens once they get there, because I mean we've seen pack racing before and what can happen with the whole packs together. So and. I mean, these guys up just in this lead pack, which is only 18 cars, we're running 4 and 3 wide. So
yeah, a lot is still possible. And even though we've been clearing green for the first 14 laps, no guarantees it'll stay that way. As it looks as though Brock exits the tri-oval, the rest of the leaders are entering the tri-oval. They are definitely going to catch this 93 pretty soon, and once that happens, that could allow that second pack to catch up even faster.
And I will kind of correct you there. We weren't necessarily clean through the first 15 laps, but we've been green through the first 15 laps. Obviously, the incident with Ortiz and Brock. But yeah, so now you see this lead pack does once in a while. It seems like they try to get like a 3 or 4 car single file line, but then they start dicing out again, and you can see that backpack is. I mean, they're about there. So we're about to have a whole lead pack here before too long, as it looks like Fair's going to try to gun for the lead now.
And remember, when these packs converge, what that does is it'll allow Jeffrey Finguy to get right back up into the mix with Devin Fair to hopefully try and equalize their points position. As, whoa, Arnold and Hall made a little bit of contact with the tri-oval. That's the sketchiest place on this racetrack to do that sort of thing, because you're going just as fast as you are through the banking in the turns, but with a lot less banking in the tri-oval to navigate.
Yeah, the tri-oval it's basically, it is another corner, but it does kind of seem to funnel up in the tri-oval, and that's usually where you see issues of somebody trying to maybe make a lane where there's not a lane, and kind of maybe what happened there maybe between Arnold and Paul was a little bit of contact as they were trying to sort each other out. But yeah, again, up front here, they are 3 abreast. A little bit in this pack. Obviously, double file right now behind the leader, Fair. As it's 2 things, they're catching the lap car and the other pack is catching them. So we'll just have to see once everything gets itself together here, as we're 16 laps through, and the threat of the big one. We talk about the big incidents that happen here, and there's still the threat of that looming. So
yeah, and at this point, the second pack is fully in the draft of the lead group. They're going to converge on each other. They're already doing it at this moment. They're converging on each other. So we've got one big pack of cars once again. I said it would take 10 laps. It didn't even take 5. So that goes to show you the tenacity of these drivers to try and navigate their way towards the front of the field once again, as it looks as though we're looking at William Brock right now. He's just in front of the leaders, but Sam Donotto in the 77 trying to take the lead away from Devin Fair, and right now that is what Jeffrey Finguy wants to see, is that 51 up on the top of the racetrack with no help.
That's pretty much the situation he's in at the moment. Is now it's Donotto, as Sanders now pokes his nose in there on the inside now behind Donotto, as they're going to catch this lap car, the 93, and watch how they get around Brock here. Hopefully Brock will hold the line and they'll just funnel their way by.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to stay right about where he is, about a lane up from the middle. And what he's trying to do, he's trying to keep his lap intact. So if we do get a caution, he will be the free pass recipient. Because remember, they haven't caught Teskar and Nomina yet. So when they do, those cars will be battling for the free pass instead of the 93, but it looks as though it'll be to no avail, because Sanders and Michaels now coming up on the inside.
Yeah, as we are basically 3 abreast now. Again, a lap car, Brock leads the outside lane, but again, the pack all together now we're 4 wide. That's JD Mart now squeezes his way. And how about the 50? Where'd the 59 come from? Zachary Fitzwater.
He came from that second pack. That's where he came from, and he's fought his way from the back to the front in that 59, looking for his first Superstar Series win, and wouldn't it be special if it came here after the season he has had in that 59 machine?
Yeah, it's obviously, of course, last week they were caught up in an incident, or was involved in an incident at Michigan. What a better way to put that behind you than to come out here and try to lead the very next race, and he's up there. It kind of surprised me. And also, you got Vargas here's one of the playoff guys we talked about being in that second pack. Vargas up to P4 now.
And Michael's leading the race as well.
And Michael's leading the race, and then also Goforth, the National Series driver who actually leads the National Series points as they come into their next or leads the National Series points at the moment, and
they start their playoffs this weekend.
Yeah, he's been having a good run as of late, and now he's going to see if he can try to gun for the lead here.
Yeah, because they've caught Jensen Nomina in the 96 now, and the 96 clearly a bit off the pace compared to the leaders, but he's going to try and hang in for as long as he can. But I think he knows that he needs to give way to the leaders, especially considering at the rate they caught him. Because here comes Goforth, and now Aaron Hall to the inside. Hall being pushed by Patrick Smith and Jeff Bolton in that special tribute scheme this week.
Yeah, they're 4 wide still throughout the pack. And, this is where, as a fan, it's fun to watch this, but as a driver, I know how stressful it is to be a part of that and be in the middle of it, so it's definitely stressful. These guys are just trying to make sure nobody make a mistake at this point, and let's navigate these slower cars and not have any problems.
And one thing I also noticed, as Patrick Smith now dives to the inside trying to get his first lead of the day, if you look further back in the pack, you'll see Devin Faird running directly ahead of Jeffrey Finguy in the 92. Look at them in the mid-center of your screen. They run nose to tail now, and I think Finguy would love nothing more than to dive to the inside, get around Devin Faird, fight his way to the front, and potentially get a lap led.
Right now, it's the car he owns that's out front. The 22 of Patrick Smith leads this race. As here comes Miles Mashburn. Mashburn, another one. Again, started mid-pack, started 22nd. Now he's up to second.
And he's bringing his teammate with him, J.D. Martin in the 66. So Robbers Racing putting on a bit of a charge here in the mid-portion of this race. We're checking on the location of Cale Tescar Jr. in case they catch him relatively soon. Doesn't look like they're going to yet, but we'll keep you updated on that as well. But now it's the two Robbers Racing teammates out in the lead of this race, Mashburn and Martin. They're going to try and lead together at Talladega. Remember, neither of these two have won a Superstar race in quite a while. Robbers Racing still looking for their first Superstar win of the season, despite coming close many a time with that 6 car.
Well, you never know. It's up and down nature of this sport. You may have a couple of races where you don't run so hot, and then all of a sudden things catch fire, and here you come. We'll throw another player into the mix at 83 at Duke Anzac. Now up into the 4th position. He dives to the inside to follow Martin, and I think Martin wants his turn at the point.
Yeah, and Anzac started back in 32nd place, so he has clawed his way up to the front of the field. There is Zachary DeLello as well in that bright yellow number 08. He was running in that no man's land for a while, but he now makes his way to the front of the pack with a run potentially from Jake McMillan in the 21. That's a teammate to Keon Daly, who led a bunch early on.
As we can pretty much see here, this is the nature of this style of racing. It doesn't matter necessarily where you start. Hell, timing you scoring that last time by James Ellison, who started way deep in this field, was scored 10th. So, I mean, you could pretty much go anywhere in this race at any time. So, as they are, again, 4 wide back in the pack. They may have been, for a brief moment, 5 wide, I think, down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and look at this snarling pack. We've got Evans Ross, got Sanders, Bouchard, and Austin Runkle 4 wide further back here. And you got to keep in mind as well, these guys can't go the entire length of the race on a single tank of fuel. I would expect them to be thinking about coming in to top off to make it the rest of the way within the next 5 laps or so.
Yeah, probably right around the halfway point of this race, which is within the next couple of laps is the halfway point. So you got to start thinking about that. One stop gets you to the end of the race, and the track of Talladega, more than likely you're going to see a lot. Well, you could possibly see just fuel-only stops, no tires here, but we'll have to wait and see what everybody does when they do it. Again, 3 wide. It looks like Dylan Young's now leading that inside. No, he had to go high and
almost collected Ellison. So James Ellison dodged a bullet there, I feel, in that 3 car, but. Now Stephen Gale gets forced up to the middle of the racetrack for Echo Evans Ross with a push from her teammate, Sam Donato in the 77. And look who's 4th in line on that inside line. Jeffrey Finguy in the 92 is not wasting any time. He needs to get to the front and lead this race.
He's trying to. He wants to, so he's definitely made that push. He's, as you said, 4th in the inside line, trying to lead that inside. Now he's going to try to lead the inside line.
Yeah, I think he might need a little bit of help from the 99 or the 77. Yeah, they tuck down in front of him, so he will be third on the inside, pushing the 99 off in the turn 3. But Jeffrey Finguy, he had a subpar day by his standards at his home race at Michigan. He wants to rebound, and what better place than here at Talladega to assert himself as a championship favorite once again. But he gets pushed up into the middle by Emma Kruger, and that is going to derail his plans.
Yeah, it may derail him for the moment, but although he does have help in that middle groove, again, I mentioned him earlier, James Ellison, the 3-car, who normally is in the broadcast booth for these races, is sitting there in the middle. He's going to follow Finguy.
Yeah, he's racing here and at Denver in a few weeks for his last start of the season out in the road course at Denver. And then he'll be with us for the rest of the season after that. But looking further up at the front of the field, and actually look at this real quick. We've got all of the Revolution Racing cars in a line, nose to tail on the inside. Davidson, Fair, and Vargas, plus their halftime car, Ryan Arnold, a lane up.
That could even be by design. That could have been they just decided, okay, we're going to fall in line and follow each other. As we got one car looks like peeled off for pit road.
Yeah, that was Mark Davey in the 97. It should be, because we're closing in on half race distance here. That was Mark Davey and Aaron Hall. They've pit together. So the pit stops are starting here at Talladega, and Keon Daly now assumes the lead of the race with a push from Zachary Fitzwater, and then comes all the Revolution Racing teammates. They're working together, trying to find a way to the front, because Davidson and Vargas know that Devin Fair is leading the championship, and they need to help him get as big a lead as they can heading to Denver.
Yeah, but especially at a race at Talladega, it's nice to have friends. Even if they're teammates, it's nice to have friends. So yeah, this is the point we're going to have to watch, because, yep, here they come. You got some of the leaders peeling. You got, it looks like Daly, Vargas, Sanders,
but yeah,
Zayden
Davidson. I think that when the pack realized that they were about to catch Spletzer and Teskar, they as soon as they caught a draft at the zero car, they knew they would want to pit then to try and prevent themselves from reaching him and having him slow them down. But that's exactly what's happening now to Devin Fair and Zayden Davidson, the two Revolution Racing cars at the front of the field. Remember, Tescar's joining that team next year. He wants to try and help as much as he can before moving over to the new 18 car next year.
So yeah, this may be also just a matter of these guys also trying to get a draft off these lap cars as they...
hate to interrupt, but Kruger and Lattimore almost made contact coming to pit road there.
Yep, but here comes the next group of leaders. Fair, Kruger, Fitzwater, all going to hit this time.
And that leaves, I believe, only 3 cars that have not pit in this race so far. Zayden Davidson, Igor Zhao, and AJ Jones. Those are your 3 leaders. Davidson's got a bit of a comfortable lead. You see the 99 and the 31 further back in your picture. But look at that train of cars coming out of pit road. That might be good for them if they can group up and try and chase down the others who have yet to pit.
Yeah, we'll see how this all works out. Granted, when you pit at Talladega, you want to pit with friends, usually. You want to pit with cars to work with. You don't want to be left by yourself trying to run back and get up to speed. But unfortunately, it looks like, say, Davidson is not going to have many friends with him when he comes back off of pit road.
He's got the 31 at least. The 99, I think, started the sputter coming out of turn 4. That's why he's a little further behind. But those 3 pit now, and we're going to try and find... Yeah, here's a big group coming out of the pits. We'll see how they blend in compared to the rest of them.
Again, we're trying to look right now, trying to see who will be the provisional leader of those once these stops go through. And right now, Vargas, I think, is racing these 2.
Yeah, Fair and Lattimore.
And then, of course, once they catch, we'll see how they come out in relation to where Davidson and the 31 come out, namely Davidson. But I think Vargas might be the leader here once it cycles.
And this pack is not very big, but the good news is for Devin Fair anyway, he is among the leaders, and he's got a teammate to work with, although he's being put 3 wide by Bobo Jones and Chris Lattimore, a pair of Chevrolets, trying to squeeze him a little bit. But it's Vargas now. Well, actually, Davidson led that last time by on account of they haven't passed him yet, but he's going to blend out, and we're going to see in the background... Yeah, there they come.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to catch him, though. I mean, again, contrarian strategy with the 4 team. They went a little longer and, again, pitted don't really necessarily have the help at the moment, but they're going to at least come out and be the leader at this point in time. So,
Picked up AJ
and this
Jones
isn't that big a pack either. So
yeah, and keep in mind, some of the early pitters might be a bit marginal on fuel as well. They pitted well before the halfway point of this race. So that's going to be worth keeping on our eye on as we get to the latter stages, if anybody has to pit a second time.
and we'll keep an eye on. Again, not much of a pack up here right now. This is basically a 7-car pack with obviously Davidson and Vargas the lead. The first 2 as the leaders, and then you have this 7-car group. And yeah, the pit stops really broke up that big group we saw.
Yeah, we basically got about 4 packs now. You got the leaders, and I will include Davidson and Vargas in that group of leaders for the sake of keeping everybody grouped together. Then you have a second pack.
Well, they're gonna blend back with these guys here in just a moment. I mean, we can see them catching them now.
Yeah, so we'll see if AJ Jones picks up Davidson. No, he dives to the inside, trying to gain a place on the 4. Remember, AJ Jones, the Daytona 500 winner from this year, and he's still looking for a ride for 2025.
But yeah, it's trying to have a decent showing. He's trying to show at least he's got a niche at these style tracks. He's back here at Finguy.
Yeah, he's in this like 3rd or 4th pack now, and he's quite a ways behind the leaders. He's going to need either a yellow flag or this group to get organized as fast as humanly possible. Because look, the group behind them is starting to organize a bit single file. Once they catch them, they might try and catch this group of 5 up ahead as well. And then when those guys get grouped together, I don't know, it's going to be interesting because we're coming up on about 25 laps to go this time, and I don't know, it's going to take a lot of effort to get the 92 back into contention here.
Well, it's going to be a matter, we saw it with the 2 packs earlier, it's just going to be a matter of which group can get organized and start making time first. Whatever group that is the group that's basically going to dictate the pace and more than likely the race outcome. So it's just going to be a matter of if he's got to be with a group that he knows is going to stay organized. I actually do kind of like that second pack is almost about organized. They just got 2 cars kicked to the high side there. They're almost single file.
Yeah, and that third
so I would expect him to maybe catch these guys.
The third group's completely single file, so maybe we'll have a big group coming to the checkered flag. And look at Julio Caesar as well in one of those further back groups. He's got the fastest lap at the moment of the 46.80. That might be important later on because it keeps a playoff driver from getting it, and that could be huge in the fight for the championship as we head to Denver in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's any point you can get, or in this case, any point you can take from your competitor is usually a good thing. So we'll see. Right now, this lead group is basically 9 cars, and there's a second group of about, I believe that's 7 cars chasing behind them that are single file. You got the 1 car Fitzwater looking out, but it looks like they're going to get back single file. But I expect that second. We're going to have at least, I think, these 2 packs come together. I'm not sure about the third, but I know at least I think these 2 are going to come together.
Yeah, and look now, Devin Fair is getting a push from one of the cars he owns, Cody Goforth, but now he gets kicked up to make room for his in-house teammates, Davidson and Vargas. So all the Revolution Racing drivers at the front of the field now, plus Cody Goforth in the Allied 64 car. So this group is very heavy with Revolution Toyotas, and we're looking to try and find Ryan Arnold, see where he is. He's probably in one of those further back packs. But this group right here, led by Duke Ansack, they are going to catch very soon. If they probably already caught them.
And pushing Duke, we've already mentioned him, is Sanders, and then you have obviously the pole sitter Hall, guys that have been at the front today. So these guys definitely have good enough cars to be able to run down these packs. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to how the shuffle goes and see who comes out on top here.
Now this pack is about doubled in size, led by Devin Fair and Zayden Davidson. That is not what the 92 was hoping for going into this race. But critically, Davidson's going to try and take the lead for himself. He entered today, I believe, 14th in points, but he is looking to re-energize his championship challenge with a potential victory here at Talladega.
Yeah, you may be teammates with somebody, but when it comes down to the meat and bones of it, you still got to win for your sponsors and your team. So, Davidson obviously has got his own situation he's worried about and trying to make a good showing for his sponsor and for his team.
Yeah, but right now I don't think Zayden Davidson can keep up with the Joneses at the moment because AJ Jones just took the lead from Bobo Jones, who had taken it from Davidson. Now AJ ducks down in front of Cody Goforth, and the 31 will take the lead for the first time today.
Also, don't look now, but Fitzy's back, the 59 up the inside. The red and white Dodge back in the mix.
And a lot of these drivers looking for their maiden win in the Superstar Series. Cody Goforth, Zachary Fitzwater, you got Keon Daly, Aaron Hall, Austin Runkle is there, Rasha Mahendra. They're all looking for their first career wins in this lead pack. So the odds are pretty good.
Yeah, it's the shuffle of this style of racing. You know, all you have to be is the one when that last shuffle occurs. So, you know, as long as you can put yourself in a position, you can be there at the end of this race. Man, I believe it was McDonald that almost made contact with Sanders there on the tri-oval.
And how about Ben McDonald,
Sanders up a little bit.
How about Ben McDonald, though? He started 42nd and last in this race, but he has fought his way through the field, and he's now fourth on that inside lane, pushing Lane Sanders to the front of the field. So it looks as though they're about to catch Roberto Crown Jr. and put him a lap down.
It's just, as I said before, the nature of this style of racing, while starting spot may matter as far as you want to start somewhere where you can kind of avoid events, you can very easily make your way from the back of the pack, as shown by Ben McDonald's run so far today. You can start at the back and then run up front. So, man, Sanders now going to gun for the lead as the hometown crowd comes to its feet.
Yeah, Lane Sanders will lead that lap, and the crowd is definitely loving that. Lane Sanders still looking for his first win here at Talladega, so maybe it'll come here today, as he's getting a push from a trio of Toyotas from three different teams: Mahendra, Hall, and Vargas up the inside. As it looks like we're going to catch Teskar, Nomina, and Crown. So who knows? Maybe that third group could catch up.
That third group trying to get organized back there too. So they know they got an opportunity here with the lead pack catching these lap cars. So they're trying to get organized to give themselves an opportunity to catch this lead group.
Yeah, and they've caught Crown now, and they're 3 wide for the lead behind the 55, Aaron Hall. Crown tried to cut him off, nothing doing there. That 07 has a really good car to the half field, because he has so far led the most laps in this race, and he is trying to set sail with using the 55 as a bit of a pick.
Right now they're trying to navigate 4 wide here, be in this lead group, and look at them all over the racetrack from the inside to the outside. There's that second group trying to stay organized. It looks like now there's fewer cars, though. I think there's maybe about 5-6 cars in that third little group that's trying to catch.
And they're about 5 seconds off the lead, so they gotta hustle because if they're gonna get there in time. And then the third group it's about as big as this one. They're about 7 seconds off the lead. And that's the group Finguy's in. So they really need to pedal if they're gonna gain on these guys, because we're coming up on 15 laps to go from Talladega.
Actually 16, it was a lap early, but Hall continues to lead. How about Austin Rungel in the 5 car up to the second position now?
And remember, he's retiring at the end of this season. His meteoric rise to the top has come to an early end, and wouldn't it be something for him to get his first Superstar win while on the way out for Paladin Racing? But I think Devin Fair's looking to deny him as he dives to the inside of the 13.
Fair, we talked about it. Fair, well, not necessarily talked about, but Fair went on a run when he won his championship. Is he possibly getting ready to do that again here in this year's playoffs? He won at Michigan. Can he go back-to-back here and make a further case for his push to try to get title number 2?
Yeah, but he's trying to do a lot with a little here. He's trying to make a move on the 5, and look at the 2 lap cars up ahead, side by side, Teskar and Nomina. They're going to try and jump to the outside, try and get around at least the 96 and maybe the 0 as well. But look at this group trying to scatter around these 2 lap cars that are blocking both lanes at the moment. This could be an opportunity for those groups further behind to gain a few seconds.
Well, the big gain I see there is that 83 of Duke Anzac now down up the inside. Looked like he tried to take advantage, tried to get to the inside of the 96, was not able to do it.
Now he's going to go.
He did. Now he's going to go, and I think again, watch this 83. This 83's been sneaky this afternoon. Staying near the front, and he's got a chance here as we come to the 14 to go.
And he's another one that crashed out early at Michigan. He needs a rebound, and a big one, to try and get himself back in the top 30 in owners' points. Both his team cars are outrunning him at the moment in points. So Anzac really needing a good day. Could this be it for him? As you can still see those other groups in the background of your shot. They're just a little out of reach of the lead group at the moment, but who knows, that could change at any time.
It could change at any time. You get one mistake in one of these groups that a car goes around, we get a yell, it bunches everybody back together again. So you never know as we'll come to 13 to go with Hall leading, Davidson in second, the 20 car in third, Goforth in a battle for fourth. And, you got
McDonald and Sanders back there, Mark Davey.
I was just going to list off the playoff guys that are in there, and namely what I was going to say is McDonald. McDonald, who, again, started shotgun on this field, has, gone through 40 laps and working his way through the field, and now he is near the front with, as the laps wind down, and that's what you ask for. You want to be near the front when it matters, and that's what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, and we're closing in on the end of this race. We have been miraculously caution-free up to this point at Talladega. I don't think we've ever had that happen here before. So these guys are racing clean, racing smart, but racing aggressive and hard at the same time. As Aaron Hall is now taking command of this race in recent times, because he has led the last few laps, and he's got a comfortable lead, which I don't think he's in a position to relinquish.
Well, what's going to be interesting is I think it's going to take a group effort to get this 07 car. We've seen a couple of passes done on Hall, but it's usually taking somebody with help. So I think you're going to have help if you're going to uproot that 07 car to get them out of the lead. As we see that they're going to catch this 93 at Brock yet again. See if they navigate through this and see if that gives an opportunity maybe to those backpacks to try to make even more of a gain.
Yeah, Hall went wide to try and get around Brock, but he is able to clear the rest of the field again as they stack up behind the 93. Hall continues to lead, and this guy, remember, still looking for his first career win in the 1-Up Superstar Series. He has a few in the Nitro National Series when he preceded him, but he's still looking for his first big league win, and if it were to come here today, it would be fully deserved because he has led the most laps today, and he's been a consistent presence at the front the entire race.
He's definitely turned in a very good run this for the weekend, I guess you could say. Sitting on the pole and then, the performance in the race so far today. So he's definitely made his case that he deserves to win this race. But again, we'll have to see how these late laps play out as they'll come to the 10 to go lap mark this time by. As Farragut looks like he's going to make the move on Rungel for third. Anzac going to try to follow him through.
Time is running out for those groups at the back. I don't think they're going to be able to gain any time without a caution flag. So it's going to come down to this group of about 18 cars fighting for the victory here at Talladega. Devin Fair now gets by his teammate Vargas to move up into the second position, and he would love nothing more than to win again at Talladega to further extend his championship lead, because Finguy is now mired deep in that third group with no hope of getting into the front without a caution. But now Fair gets kicked up to the top of the track, with Duke Anzac getting pushed by the lap car of Kel Teskar Jr., who's hung on to this lead group very well.
Yeah, he's held on to this group, but that's another X factor, because now you got that lap car that could help somebody buy the lead as far as the late surge to try to win the race. It could be key who's behind you, and you get a quick enough car that may necessarily not be there for position. Could be the difference between you winning that race or not.
And now Duke Anzac has finally unseated Aaron Hall from the lead of this race. And now Anzac leads the charge down the back straightaway, as it looks as though, you know what? That pack of about 5 cars in the middle of the back straightaway, they might actually get the draft at the back of this group before this race is over, considering how this group is stretched out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, because this group has not really gone single file, it's allowing that group behind it. I think we actually even have a couple of cars that have gotten detached, I think, a little bit from this group. Yeah, they've
been held up by lap cars. As McDonald, from last to first, and it took him 50 laps to get there, but McDonald to the point, as we now have 8 laps remaining.
How it when I say it racing, there's one lap that matters. It's the last one. That's the only one that matters as far as leading. And he looked no further than Ben McDonald for that. For the fact that he started dead last in this field.
But here comes Hall
50
again.
laps in the race, he's leading.
Here comes Hall again, though, for the lead. Aaron Hall will not be denied today. He's getting a distant push from Ben McDonald's teammate, Bobo Jones, in the 16. Lane Sanders sneaking his way up to the front. A hometown win is still in the possibility here this afternoon. He's now pushing Bobo Jones on the inside.
This is going to get fun. 7 laps to go with the 07 car out front. He's pretty much had, I think, probably the best car today. And... man, look at this pack. Everybody is closing down. It's go time. If you're anywhere in this pack, it is go time. It is time to try to get to the front and try to hopefully hold the lead if you can.
And look at that blue car on the inside. Bobo Jones, he has not won since Bristol in 2020. He is looking for his first win in a very long time. And what better place than here at Talladega in one of his last few races for Venta Motorsport before he moves on to Jeff Bolton Racing next season. But look, he's getting a push from Keon Daly and Aaron Hall. Both of those drivers looking for their first wins. As Davy's running low on gas, he can't make it. He pulls it into the pits coming to 6 to go.
You see, now that's a little worrisome because, yeah, Davey pitted early, but he only pitted about 2 or 3 laps early off the main group. And
you know who
we
else,
have 6 laps to go.
And you know who else pit with Davey on that same lap? That pink and blue 07 of Aaron Hall. So he has got to be on pins and needles right now on the outside lane.
He's on the outside without any help, so... I mean, at this point, we're just going to have to see how this plays out because, again, Davey pitted about 2 or 3 laps before the main leaders. And again, that was 6 to go, the mark there. So, do these guys actually have enough fuel to make it to the finish? This could be something to watch here.
As Rashi Mahendra, he's looking for his first win in the Superstar Series in his one-up competition as a whole, as a matter of fact. He is now trying to lead this race, but here comes...
he tried to cut off Rungel there, but I think Rungel was already there. So here comes that 5, that green 5, trying to take the lead.
Both of them looking for their first wins in the Superstar Series. They are battling for this win. 5 laps to go from Talladega. Any one of these cars has a chance to win this.
Keep in mind, the 0 that's on the inside is a lap car.
And they're catching
so he's
another
actually not a
one in
factor for the win, but he could help push somebody right now. He's trying to help that 5 maintain the point right now.
Hall and Goforth were just leaning on each other going into turn 3. That could have been disastrous at this stage of the race, but they sort it out. They get it nice and clean as Runkel now assumes the lead, but he's getting moved on by Cale Tescar Jr. Not for position, but Christian Vargas is for position. The 2-time champ trying to reestablish a charge in the late stages. 4 to go.
4 to go as we see the 97 of Davey is now back on the track. But, man, this pack right now, any one of these guys could win at this end here. You just got to be close enough to make a run, and they're going to try to navigate another lap car, a Sputzer in the 86, but, man, I can't pick a winner right now. It looks like Vargas is going to get the lead here as he navigates the lap car. Ansak's going to be right on his bumper. And how about Lattimore, the 13? Another one that's been around near the front.
Those two could be working together in the late stages to try and get past Vargas. We're coming to 3 laps to go. A couple cars have dropped off the lead pack. They're not in contention anymore, as it looks like Aaron Hall, our pole sitter, has run out of gas coming through 3 and 4.
You said it. You said he pitted the same lap that Davey did, and I said
it a little too far. Did Aaron Hall, and his hopes of a first career victory have gone up with his fuel tank. That is heartbreak for Aaron Hall. It has to be said. He drove such a good race today.
Yeah, this one's gonna hurt for Hall. I'm sure other opportunities will come, but nothing like having the car he had today, and it's unfortunate that it's gonna come up short. As we'll be coming to 2 laps to go, it is Anzac and his, as you said, his teammate. Is a teammate or affiliate, the 13 of Lattimore?
Those are in-house teammates back working together nose to tail. Anzac and Lattimore, and their other teammate, AJ Jones, is still in the middle of this pack, trying to get his way to the front to join his 2 teammates at the front of the field. Coming to 2 laps to go. Does Duke Anzac have it in him?
And the other thing we got to keep in mind too, the last Superspeedway race at Daytona, we had a photo finish, which was the closest finish in Superstar history. Obviously, the Truck Series had a closer finish at Michigan last week for the Total Series, total one-up history. But
yep, And Michael's pits as well, by the way, in the 6. He also did not have enough fuel to make it. That is going to ruin his race and possibly his championship hopes as well, as we are coming to the white flag this time, and it's anyone's guess who's going to win this race. Do they have enough fuel to make it? And if they do, who's got enough to make a last-ditch charge? Runkle's out of gas.
Enough. He's to pit road.
But Duke
as I was saying about the photo finish, will we see another one here at Dega? We'll come to the white flag as they catch the lap car of Davey.
Anzac to the lead, but Lattimore's had enough of playing nice. He dives to the inside of his teammate and his team owner, going through 1 and 2 with a push from the series points leader, Devin Fair.
You got Fair. There's Sanders, who won that photo finish at Daytona. He's in the mix here.
Michaels exits the pits. They could catch him in a moment, but here comes Sanders to the inside. The crowd is loving this. Down the backstretch they go.
We saw him do this at Daytona. Could he do it here at Dega?
Lane Sanders with a push from Rasha Mahendra. He's going to need every bit of help from that NTT data machine. Out of turn 4, remember the tri-oval's a little further back than it is at Daytona. A little further down.
Will anybody get a run up the inside on Sanders? I don't think they're going to do it. I think Sanders is going to bring this home in front of his hometown crowd.
And the crowd goes insane as Sanders doubles up at Talladega. 4th win of the season for Lane Sanders, the 6th of his career, and he does it in front of his adoring home crowd. What could be better than that for the driver of the 87 machine? You saw Christian Vargas run out of gas on the final lap. That's going to end his hopes of a good finish. But how about that for Lane Sanders? He only led 2 laps today, did the 87, but like you said, he led the one that mattered most.
He led the one that mattered. He led the last one, and attaboy to that 42 team, too. It's a runner-up finish.
Career best
was able to be right there at the end. And Devin Fair, what can you say about the 51 team?
Third place
finish.
That's
definitely going to help their effort. You know, they came in here off the win at Michigan, and that's definitely what they needed for their title hopes.
But that's not what Jeffrey Finguy wanted to see in this 92. He finishes 28th today. He just did not have the track position he needed at the end to mount a charge. And with Lane Sanders winning today, that's going to drop the 92 to 3rd in the championship as we head to Denver next time.
Well, that's Dega for you. You know, the two ends of it. You got Sanders, who had been up front for much of the day, even though he only led 2 laps, but he led the one that matters and gets it done when it matters most.
And another thing to make note of here, we didn't have a single caution all day, which I think is a first for Talladega. Very impressive stuff from our drivers, except for Nick Ortiz's engine letting go and causing that little spin at the beginning. They kept it pretty clean today.
Yeah, actually surprising for Dega. You know, we really only had that the one incident with when Ortiz's engine went up and he collected Brock, but really, yeah, it was pretty much clean the rest of the way. We had a couple guys run out of gas here at the end, but not anything worthy of causing an issue, so interesting.
Absolutely, and all 3 Team Duke cars in the top 10 as well. I believe that's a first for the organization, and looks like we got 2 of the Revolution cars in the top 10. Obviously, Vargas ran out of gas at the end of the day, but you know, Talladega is always something special, but I think this crowd got exactly the result they were hoping for today.
Yeah, they may have probably wanted to see him lead more, but hey, he led the lap that mattered most.
And he's out of gas on the cooldown lap.
He's out of gas. Talk about perfect timing as far as stretching the fuel mileage.
I don't think he's going to care that much, honestly, now that he's a winner at Talladega for the first time in his one-up career. But that is going to do it for us from Talladega, from Ryan Griffin, and from myself as well. We say goodbye from Talladega. We'll see you again in a few weeks' time at the Denver Motorsports Park Road Course. That is going to be our final road course race of the season. We hope you'll join us for that in a few weeks. But until then, so long from Talladega. Lane Sanders trying to nurse it back home for his first win at home in front of the amazing crowd here at Talladega.